Hi Aries, this is your February 2016 horoscope with me, Lada from astrolada.com, for anyone who has their ascendant, sun or even moon in Aries. And this time I will go with a prognosis for 8 months ahead, because I have to mention that Mars is already in Scorpio in February and will spend almost 8 months in Scorpio till August. It will be getting retrograde in that sign. It will get out of it, go into Sagittarius for a little bit, come back. And I know it's not starting fully the retrograde period, but it's not just one sector. It's not just while Mars is retrograde that it's going to impact you. Actually, it's from the moment it starts transiting the degrees over which it will be retrograde that the period starts. So it's almost 7 months period that you will be working hard on something, that you will be putting a lot of energy, because whatever Mars is, and Mars is your planet Aries, that's why it will be very important. Every time Mars enters a period of retrogradation, and it starts from around March, April, but the whole period starts from February when it's already transiting those degrees. And when it fully moves away of those degrees in August 2016. So whenever your planet will spend such a long time in one sign, for Aries this becomes very noticeable. Those periods for you can be very character building periods, because Mars is the planet of willpower, and what is Aries else than willpower and pushing through and success and initiative, and most entrepreneurs have Aries, strong Aries. So if you're Aries, you'll definitely feel this starting already from February, and I want to give you an overview what it's going to look like. And I'm going to be talking a lot about this Mars period over the next 4 or 5 months. So probably get sick to the bone from me, but you have to get it because it will be important. And Mars will be in your 8th and 9th house for almost 8 months. A little bit in, say, half of the time will be in the 8th, half of the time in your 9th house. So some of you might feel probably more intensely the 8th, some of you the 9th, some of you both of those energies. And whatever Mars is, this is where we learn to fight. This is where we learn to be strong as a soldier, because Mars is the soldier, to be disciplined as the soldier. This is a tough planet. Mars lessons are tough, but they're very character building. They make us able to be strict and disciplinarian like a soldier. They help us exhibit Mars transits when they're so long in the same place, help us exhibit willpower. And for you Aries, starting from February, you're going to start to feel the wind of change. You're going to start feeling where exactly the first changes are going to be happening, where exactly this intense growth of willpower and kind of restructuring as well will be happening. Because Mars is the planet of the rebel that breaks through the old, while Saturn tries to persevere the old. Mars is the opposite. Mars is the rebellious planet because it rules naturally Scorpio. It wants to tear down things. So especially when it goes retrograde in your 8th house in Scorpio. So starting the process already from February, March till August, 6 months basically, till the end of August, 7 months almost. So what does it gonna happen to you from February till August? Well, first of all, there will be a tearing down of old structures, which are no longer productive in regards to mutual finances and resources, for example. Changing the budget with your partner or business partner or marriage partner. Maybe your marriage partner will go through some financial changes which may impact you as well directly. For example, when I had Mars retrograde in my 8th house from the ascendant, this is when basically my partner had to take a smaller salary, and he bought property. So that was quite kind of destabilize our finances, but it was a long-term investment, because 8th house is the house of investment, something that you invest with another, or in a business somewhere, that is not only your own actions towards money, it's not only your own initiative, but it's somehow involved with other people. So Mars there will make you initiative over the next 7-8 months in regards to maybe investing in mutual resources with someone, investing in mutual finances, investing energy, investing finances, investing psychological resources. It can be anything. But whatever Mars is for such a long time will become quite focused and will become quite hardworking and will become very energetic. They will put a lot of energy. So such matters of finances will become priority for you. But you have to be careful because Mars can destabilize. It's one of those more difficult influences because it requires changes. It can do it through some crisis. So it might come through you through maybe some loan that you cannot take, or maybe that you have to finances that are yours and another person's, or investments that you have to change something there. But the positive side is that whatever Mars is, we work very hard there, and whatever Mars is, we get very initiative. So you can find new sources to invest in, you can become very initiative, push yourself, maybe to improve also your taxes. So you might be fighting for some inheritance, for example, because 8th house also rules other people's money when it comes to you from others, inheritance. And often the 8th house is, in ancient astrology, is considered the battleground. So when Mars is there, the planet of fighting, the battleground, you'll be fighting with something. Very likely. That's not bad news, actually, We need to win battles. We cannot achieve everything through love and sweetness. And when Mars is in the 8th house, somehow you're given the upper hand in the battle. And whatever battle you're fighting, you have a bigger chance to succeed in it because Mars there makes you more combative. And if you're in some legal court case, for example, it can indicate like this intensification of the battle, which can more likely be you're the one who takes the upper hand. And whenever Mars is, we need to tear down all structures. So 8th house is how you do your taxes, for example. You might get very initiative about, especially Scorpio is hiding, how to better hide or how to better manipulate your taxes. So for example, you paid less, or so for example, you are more more efficient, more productive, better organized, more military, to make it like a military strategic operation. So you're more clear. So 8th house is about investigating deeply, and Scorpio as well. And when Mars goes retrograde, when Mars is such a long time in your 8th house, you might be, something to do with your finances, taxes, money you have with a business partner, or money that you get from some investments. Like I, for example, work with other astrologers and psychics, and I have clients. My money comes from clients as well. So there will be a very hectic period for me, arranging something there, trying to perfect it, because Mars is a planet of perfecting something, just like a soldier or a bodybuilder. It's all about perfection. And Mars is the same, and investigating, digging deeper, becoming much more aware of, because this is the Scorpio energy in the 8th house, of how your finances are running. But you have to be careful not to destabilize those by too risky investments, for example. But also Mars in Scorpio, in the 8th house, makes you more intuitive about such investments. But always make a proper research from now, February till August. If you're going to invest in something, make your proper research, which is Scorpio, Mars in the 8th house, before you invest or spend money on something. And if you feel it intuitively strongly, you have the green light to do. Restructure your taxes, finances with a partner, changes in the finances of a partner, be more initiative, and have more willpower to investigate new resources of investments, new places for investments, new ways of dealing with the finances that come to you through business partners or people that you're dependent financially on. If you work in banking, for example, you can have a very hectic, almost crisis-prone period, but by the end of it, by August, you'd have probably achieved a lot more through your willpower, because 8th house rules other people's money. So people that work in banking, 8th house also rules surgeries and such kind of penetrating, invasive, Mars-like with sharp things, techniques or activities. So you have to be careful about accidents. It's more common that when Mars goes for a long time in someone's 8th house, someone can have small accident, burns, cuts, and things like that. So be cautious for that. But, warning you for something like that. I don't know if there is any point even It is what it is. These things tend to be more fated. It doesn't mean all Aries will go and have accidents, of course not. But especially if your ascendant is in Aries, which is the physical body, the sun and the moon as well, maybe the moon more, because the moon is more connected to the physical body. If it's in Aries, then there is a little bit more, possibility that Mars can somehow trigger the physical body by some accident, by some being too rash, because Mars makes its full aspect of 6 sign forward, 6 signs backward aspect it makes to the ascendant or to the moon or to the sun in Aries, so that he can kind of stress somehow the physical body. So just to be aware, while Mars is in Scorpio, there might be more psychological, emotional, and even physical tension, especially if your ascendant is in Aries or the moon is in Aries. If the sun is in Aries, the sun as well, the moon is more maybe psychological tensions that can happen because the moon is psychosomatic. But this can cause you to little accidents, for example. I'm not going to go for big because it needs to be first part of your horoscope to indicate that you're going to have a big accident for something like that to trigger it. And very few people have those kind of stuff. Indications. Another thing, 8th house is, Mars for 8 months almost will be there for you. 8th house Aries is very much about demons, inner demons, your inner fears. And Mars in Scorpio will make you confront your inner demons and fears and actually win over them. That's why it's the battleground. And the biggest battleground nowadays, it's not somewhere on the field, especially in the Western world, the more advanced society, it's not happening out for survival. The biggest battle in one's life is happening within, between the light and the darkness, and that's exactly where the 8th house is. So some temptations are very likely to come up, because 8th house is the house of, something that has more control over us, whether it's addiction, desire, temptation of some sort, something that we naturally we have weak spot for, because 8th house is called the default house of weakness in some way. So we might be tempted there, challenged. More, in a sense, seduced by Mars. And it's a test of how strong our willpower is. And the ultimate goal of this temptation will be to strengthen our willpower, of course, rather than for us to succumb in some psychological, entangled, emotional, addictive state. And often when Mars is in the 8th house for such a long time, there is a big breakthrough psychologically, emotionally, through some addiction, through some dependence, in a sense, for battle, you winning a battle. There will be like a huge battle within that moment. You might feel like the darker side in you is overcoming you, whether it's a sex addiction, food addiction, shopping addiction, whether it's someone dominating you, whether it's a power struggle with someone, whether it's alcohol addiction, whether it's food overeating. Anyone has something that has a bit more control over them, that tempts them, that can overwhelm them, and they feel like as if they're weakened there. And this can escalate while Mars for 6 months is in your 8th house Aries. Just warning you. But it's amazing at the same time. I've been looking forward for that for years, because Mars goes retrograde in one house once every 17 years. So that's the best time. One of the best times to fight with inner demons and to win over. And to overcome those addictions that I mentioned about, and because Scorpio in the 8th house is a very psychological, where you can have, and Mars is the planet of breakthroughs, so you can have a psychological breakthrough, like a huge shift in your mentality in regards to those things that weaken you. In regards to, if till now you've been observing, for example, that smoking is a crutch for you, and it controls you. Or whether it's eating food, or you cannot cope without overeating when you're emotional, or you always have to, or this person has such power over you sexually or psychologically, even if they abuse you, you cannot break through them. You see it like that. In my life, I'll fall apart. I cannot live without this person or this crutch or this addiction. And Mars stays for 7 months in your 8th house, comes backwards, goes out. What happens? You receive a breakthrough, almost like a surgical psychological intervention, and something changes in how you perceive the situation. You no longer feel like being exploited, or you take your power back. You don't give the power to this outer thing. And you can take psychologically your power back and see it in a totally different light, so you're no longer psychologically dependent, emotionally, psychologically, or physically dependent on this thing or person. So it has a very good potential results, Mars in the 8th house, being retrograde there. And I'll be talking more and more about Mars in the 8th house. There are a lot of other things that Mars in the 8th house indicates. I said big psychological changes. I think probably Aries will be the ones that feel it the same. And because Mars makes a full aspect to your sign, Aries, from Scorpio, in ancient astrology, Mars makes the 6th sign aspect towards Aries. I know this is not exactly Western astrology, but it does work. You know, this special 6th sign aspect to Mars. So Aries will feel much more willpower for the next 8, almost like if they're not doing it on their own, something will push them outside circumstances for them to become in a more feisty mode, in a more fighting, and to manifest their willpower in a way that they haven't done for a long time, because Mars directly aspects with this very powerful planetary aspect the Aries from Scorpio, and because Mars also rules Aries and is extremely strong in Scorpio. Scorpio is the other sign of Aries. So Aries, during those 7-8 months till the end of August, will taste a bit what it is to have, you naturally have the Mars energy of pushing through, breaking walls, you know, getting to the goal, but to get to feel what it is to have the Scorpionic Mars energy, to hurry slowly, to plan strategically, and especially in 8th house matters, plan strategically in finances, plan strategically in overcoming addictions or weaknesses, plan strategically in winning battles, plan strategically in investments, and also what it is to have very persevering willpower, because Mars energy is usually like, ooh, you know, goes very fast and gets fed up if doors don't open very quick. But when it's with Mars, Mars can wait for years its prey, so to speak, Scorpio energy, sorry. And your planet that rules your Mars will be in this Scorpio sign, so you'll feel like what it is to be Scorpionic, what it is to plan, to strategize, to be like almost like a general, and to execute your plan step by step, strategically, fixedly, without change, you know. And some of your Aries might be doing some important research, because 8th house is about digging, finding secrets, bringing to the surface, or doing some very either scientific or work research, because Mars, again, Mars is a sharp planet. It's like a sharp instrument in the 8th house of research and digging. It's almost like you become an archaeologist, digging to the bottom, surgically, finding the truth, finding something that is hidden, whether it's discovering mysteries of science or something about your private life. But you will have a penetrating, forcing, and invading almost energy for the next 6 months, when your planet is in Scorpio intense. And Mars also goes in Sagittarius, which I'm going to talk more about that in March. And Mars goes retrograde also in Sagittarius, which is your 9th house. So you'll be being quite initiative and progressive in regards to not pushing through in regards to fighting for something you believe in, maybe initiative about foreign travel. But I'm going to talk more about that second part of Mars influence in the 9th house for you in Sagittarius in March. So you have to tune in then. And so basically, and you become quite competitive as well, Aries. So get ready for a lot of increase of willpower, winning certain battles, especially with your inner demons, or with someone who is overwhelming you and overpowering you, who you've been. Power struggles can escalate, though, you know, because in order for us to gain strength and willpower, we have to be put in situations of power struggles, you know. But we will have the upper hand, Aries. So, you know, good luck with winning. So what those more specifically February hold, Jupiter and Rahu continue to be together in the sky in your 6th house Aries. Whenever two planets, Jupiter and Rahu in particular, they fulfill wishes, those ones. And even in ancient texts, recently one of my teachers translated something from ancient Greek or was it ancient Babylonian, Chaldean, and it said that the king would be advised by the priests, which are the magi, the astrologers, to pray once every 7-8 years when Jupiter and the north node of the moon, which was called the dragon's head, Rahu, would join together in the sky, because this would have the most manifesting period. So for about 5-6 months, you know, when Jupiter and Rahu, or sometimes 1 or 2 months when they'll be together every 7, 8, 9 years, I think approximately this would be the most auspicious time for prayer, because you can manifest dreams in that area of your life. And for Aries, they're in the 6th house. So things can happen there in regards to your health, in regards to health issues you have, in regards to getting rid of debt of some sort. If you have debt towards someone, Rahu can help you break through that, can help you overcome it. If you have some illness, they can help you overcome it. So continue praying or looking for answers in February in that matters. 6th house is also about creating more order, creating more organization in your life. Rahu and Ketu can help that. Rahu and Ketu can bring more work to you, more services, more duties and responsibilities. And if you want those to be more meaningful, or if you are looking for employment, if you haven't been able to find someone to employ you, to find a job, now Jupiter and Rahu in your 6th house can help you, Aries. So keep on praying in that direction, on making efforts, because these planets are very much happening, you know. A purification of the body physically. Amazing time when Jupiter and Rahu is there. Doing some detoxes, for example. Healing with herbs, alternatives, or even allopathic medicine can be much more productive now, because 6th house is the house of healing overall. Hiring people to be your employees, that's the 6th house as well. Or getting a pet. All those things can be very supportive and happening. And Venus and Mercury are in your 10th house till the middle of January area. So you're supported in regards to career, social status. You can have good positive impact on others. With authority figures, you can have good negotiations. You might be concluding something in regards to your career, some projects that you've been working hard on. You can complete it, because Mercury has been moving backwards in January and February. It's moving forwards in that part of the horoscope, which for you is career. So you might, like, whatever hard work you've put in January, in February you can see the results of that. Especially in regards to career, image, some negotiations you might have been doing. And then Venus and Jupiter and Mercury go into your 11th house. Towards the second part of February, you'll be more socially active. You might go see friends. Interestingly, I'm going to, for 10 days to see friends, 10 different friends. At the end of February, being Aries, that makes sense, because Venus and Mercury, the two social planets, will be in our 11th house of communication, of friendships, of social life, being busy socially. So this is what, and you can be also more gainful, because 11th house naturally rules gainfulness, or meet people that are beneficial for you in some way, that's supportive of you, or that become like benefactors in some way, or introduce you to someone important. So that's what I see for you, Aries. Thank you very much. We paid a lot of attention on Scorpio, being Mars in your 8th house, but I think it's very important. That's why I talked so much about it, and I'll be talking a lot more for a few months. Thank you.